Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Dachi and welcome to yet another episode of Topics of Taboo, where today I'm going to be talking all things sex workers and just basically explaining the life of a sex worker, what a sex worker is, how much they earn, etc, etc. If you're interested in that topic, then definitely keep watching. If you are new here, then thank you so much for clicking on my video. If you'd like to subscribe, that would mean the absolute world to me, and definitely click that bell so you don't miss another episode. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. For starters, did you know that the sex industry is the only industry in the entire world where women earn more than men? Pretty interesting stuff. Why wouldn't you want to be a sex worker if you're going to be earning more than your male counterparts? Now, sex work is really diverse and it is not always penetrative sex. Some people prefer to use the term sex worker to avoid invoking the stigma surrounding the word prostitute. And the term sex worker does not always refer to individuals who directly exchange sexual services for goods. So, what is a sex worker? Put simply, a sex worker is someone who is employed by the sex industry. This also includes those who provide direct sexual services, as well as the staff of such industries. Who are the sex workers? The answer is anyone. Anyone can be a sex worker of any race, of any gender, obviously of a certain age. But yeah, anyone can be a sex worker. Now we'll get onto the types of sex workers, because there is an array of different types. There's not just one. So some sex workers are paid to engage in sexual acts or sexually explicit behavior, which involve varying degrees of physical contact. Now this refers to being a prostitute or some but not all professional doms or dominants. Porn models and actors engage in sexually explicit behavior and are filmed or photographed. Phone sex operators have sexually oriented conversations with clients and do auditive roleplay. Others are paid to engage in live sexual performance, such as webcam sex and performers in live sex shows. Some perform erotic dances or other acts for an audience, such as striptease, lap dance, neo-burlesque, and peep shows. So, everyone says, oh, sex workers, they earn so much, but how much do they really earn? After watching a show called You Can't Ask That, it's on ABC iView, highly recommend if you guys want to go watch some interesting episodes on that. But basically it's a show where different members of society and of the world come together, such as people in polyamorous relationships, which is where I got the idea for that other video, or such as sex workers. And basically they come on, they grab a bunch of questions that you're not really supposed to ask people in that certain industry or who are polyamorous or blah blah blah, and they answer them for you. And I did watch one on sex workers last night and I found out a little bit about the pricing. Obviously I'm guessing it's different for everyone in the sex industry, like, because they all work in different parts. Some work for themselves, some have like a manager, and then some work for like a big business in like porn. So I'm presuming porn would earn what their company wants to pay them. However, if you're like an individual sex worker, it's kind of price upon application. You decide how much they will pay you. I discovered that some sex workers can, really charge whatever they'd like. So for example, there was one woman on there who said she'd charged $200 for sex, and then she'd also charged $1,000 for sex. Who their client is, what they're like, you know, like either a rich businessman or just your everyday Joe Blow, and also the situation you're in and how they treat you. All of these factors obviously contribute to how much you'd be charging. Another man on there was speaking about how much he charges, and he actually charges $200 per hour. So he could be doing 2 hours going out for dinner and accompanying a woman somewhere, then going back to their house for like another 2 or 3 hours, and that could almost add up to about $1,000. And he also had a charge for an overnight, so dinner and a movie, then going somewhere together and sleeping together and staying the night and then leaving the next morning, and he could almost charge up to $2.5 grand for that. So another thing I found out was that a lot of the time it's not always penetrative sex. Every individual can have their different things. Like there is actually a woman on there who doesn't do penetrative sex, she does everything else, but that's where the line, like she draws the line there. And some people draw the line at so many other crazy wild fantasies that people have, and that is absolutely fine because it's your job and it's your life, and they do what they want to do and they won't cross a line and they won't let anyone else cross the line. So yeah, is it a really dangerous profession to be in? Now, yes, but so can, like, anything could be dangerous. Like you could be a bus driver and you could crash, or someone could crash into you. Do you know what I mean? Any profession has a level of danger to it. But yeah, it can be really dangerous because honestly, you never know who you're meeting up with, and that's just when you need to have good security put in place. And people obviously around you knowing where you are and what you're doing, whether it be a family member if you're open enough to tell them about it, or you might have a manager or any sort of security personnel that you can call, and obviously there's ways to get out of things. But yeah, oftentimes I suppose it could be a very dangerous job, and yeah, a little bit scary at times. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for today's topic of taboo. I will definitely leave some links down below to those episodes and also some other TED Talks that I watched on the topic, because they are very interesting if you are interested in learning about sex workers and how much they earn and what they do and what it encompasses entirely. So if you're interested in that, then I'll leave them down in the description box. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure to give it a huge thumbs up so I know to keep doing more tuts in the future, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I upload 3 times a week on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so if you're into that sort of thing, definitely make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video on Monday. Bye.
Money.